So, well, good morning and welcome back. It's bright and early the next morning, and today is beer day, so Max should be here any minute. I've put this here, but I haven't set it up. I'm babysitting the little one because Madame's off at the supermarket. So yeah, as soon as Max gets here, we'll start with filtering the water and filling it up, getting it warm. So we filtered 14 litres of water. And they're in here warming up very slowly. And once they're done, we'll put the ingredients in and cook them up. So you can see how cold the water is from the condensation on the outside here.
Parfois qu'il n'y a pas.
And that's our malt.
Ça commence un peu. Il y a de plus en plus de barres. Pas rester au fond, elle reste.
Ça flotte,
Ouais.
C'est bien.
C'est bien rempli, tu vois, tous les. Je pense que c'est juste.
Okay, so we've been at this for a couple of hours now. It's filtering through. We're at the stage where we're getting rid of the proteins and we're creating sugar. So this is where this will eventually decide how much alcohol will be in the beer. The machine's working very well. So yeah, all is going well actually. It's very nice colour, as you saw on the last bits while we were stirring. We've got a bit of head, so no, it looks great. Hopefully it'll taste nice as well. Probably be another couple of hours, so it's not the most exciting thing to do, but we are, while we're doing this, drinking some excellent beer from South Germany. And Max has just popped off to get a big pot because we need to warm up some water for when we do the pour over. But our mash is looking good. This kettle is doing very well. So far so good. So I've just added the hops, a little bit of a crown. It smells amazing. You can see it there. And now it's going to be 90 minutes boiling. So, cold water running through there. The temperature is dropping rapidly-ish, still 90 odd degrees. But within a few minutes we should be down, and we need it to get below 30 so that we can put yeast in.
Where are you? All right, my love, are you right? Are you? Why? Oh, okay, my love, be careful then, huh? Is anything going on, huh?
Okay, well, it's the next morning. We had a few beers last night to celebrate the fact that we made some beer. It's now in here, all wrapped up, nice and warm. It's 22 degrees exactly inside. And I'm now going to have a look, which I haven't done yet, and see if we have some fermentation. So if we have like a bit of a head on top of the beer, that will be a great sign. And then it'll need a couple more days, but it's yeah, it's at 2 bar, and it looked pretty good when it went in yesterday. So let's have a look. Okay, well, it doesn't look bad at all. You can see, get a torch, if I light it up a little bit, you can see the yeast doing its business there. It does have a lovely colour. So that head will now build up and up and up, and then it'll collapse, and once it collapses, we just have to wait for everything else to drop to the bottom, and already it has separated out very well. And then once everything's at the bottom, we'll be ready to drink it. So this little black thing here is our warmer. It keeps it nice and warm, keeps it between 20 and 22 degrees for the fermentation process. And well, you can definitely see there's a lot going on in there. So yeah, so far so good. So I've just swapped the kiddie seats over from the bus to the golf, and we're going to go and see Lago Verde, which is a lake just nearby, which the tourism board has decided to redo. So apparently before this summer there'll be benches and all kinds of picnic stuff, but I've never been, and everyone said it's very nice, so we're going to head over there. And just next door there's a waterfall as well, so might well go and have a look at that. And then this afternoon we'll see, I guess, some more shutter work and what have you. Okay, well, that was an exciting drive. It's kind of muddy and the car bottomed out a couple of times. So hopefully we haven't done any major damage. I couldn't see anything leaking out, but it is pretty muddy and probably the worst time of year to come and see the Lago Verde, which is here and is in fact, amazingly enough, still completely frozen. So as everyone said to us, oh, picnic, perfect picnic place for everything. It is properly in the shade in winter. And that's one block of ice, and I don't think it's ice that's thick enough. I certainly wouldn't go ice skating on it. So we've seen it. Have a quick look at this, see what this says. Commune de Pontomery. This is for the resistance fighters in the Second World War, apparently. And up here, we have a little old map and some information about the fauna and flora. There are a few houses up here. I mean, it is a very long way down a not very good track, at least not in winter. And we did choose the wrong car to do this in. The bus would have been much better at this because it's four-wheel drive and quite a lot higher. So well, we've seen that. Let's go and see if we can find the waterfall, maybe, if it's not too far off, but I think it might be too far off the track and I don't really want to get stuck and have to work out whether me or my better half is going to push. So we're going to start heading back. Okay, so it's time to get going on this one, see how they match up. So this is also how they're going to be fitted. So this one's going on the right there. I'm going to, obviously there will be a lot of sanding and filling and what have you, and also painting, but I'm going to get it lined up and trim the top off it there, and then I'll get it set up so I can get the exact measurements on the other side. Okay, well, I've stuck that one shutter in. I've cut it to height. I've put it where it's supposed to go, and it looks pretty good, actually. Let's face it, there's still a little bit of detailing to do on it, but I think that's not going to stick out too much with the other ones. So I am now going to mark up the hinges and try and fit the hinges, and if I can get that to work, then that one shutter will be perfectly positioned, which it probably won't. I've tried to make it as straight as and as vertical as possible and everything, but I know that I'm not the best at this, but it'll mean that when I do this one here, I can get it to match, and that hopefully will make the whole thing work. So here goes nothing. Okay, so here's where my first hinge is going to go on. Once that's on, we can line it up on this, because it has to be square to this side. This I can remove here because that's in the way. I'll be able to plaster up to it. I'll put probably a little something like a little corniche there to hold it in place. So I'm going to drill some holes. I don't know how well that's going to work here, but it could work. We'll see. Okay, well, as you can see, as soon as I touched the drill on there, the little bit of plaster that I tried to fix popped out. So that's not the end of the world. Not taking any risks with these huge long screw bolt nail things. They should hold for a long time. So I'm going to screw those three in and then line it up on the shutter, get the shutter set up, and then do the bottom. So I've got a line here, and I'm going to keep that line straight so that when we go into the bottom, and I'm going to avoid this big hole I made a little bit higher up where the marker is, more or less there, and that should be okay. It is in fact very well reinforced up here for some reason. So that didn't go according to plan at all. As soon as I put those large bolts in, the bottom one broke. It then split off a bit of the plaster here, so it's been a bit of a disaster. I've replaced them with these coach bolts. That's not going anywhere. I'm going to drill out the bottom one with a metal drill. So yeah, not fabulous, but now that I've learnt out of that, the bottom ones will be better. And in fact, the screws do look better, so I can get some plaster in there later on. So I'm going to get this line done. I'm going to take it back off again, drill that out, get the line straight, and put the bottom hinge on so I can get this shutter toing and froing as soon as possible. Okay, well, that didn't go according to plan at all. Let's bust everything out. That was just me being stupid and putting huge screws into dowels that weren't the right size for them, thinking that'll hold better, and in fact it doesn't. So yeah, balls and balls. I can mark up the bottom one. It'll hold for a little bit in there, and I will have to just basically shutter it and cement it. There's not much to it. It was in fact cement, so that's probably the best solution. But I don't have any cement. I only have plaster here, so the plaster's not going to be very useful. So I'm just going to mark up the bottom one and still try and hang this as best I can. And there, ladies and gentlemen, albeit not particularly well, although at the bottom it's not too bad, is our first shutter that now opens and closes. The clearance to the light switch is perfect. The screws obviously still come out, so lots more screws, lots more faffing about getting all of this now cemented. So I'm going to put like a plank of wood up and backfill it. That's probably the best thing to do, and then put the rest of the screws in. You can see sort of holding on for dear life, but should be pretty good. I think it looks fine now that it's on and in. It's straight, it's where it should be. So now I'm going to measure everything and do this one. So finally, something that has been going according to plan. I've been using the jiggle saw. I got this set up properly as well, so I've given up on long tendons. In fact, I'm probably going to put these little angle things on like the traditional shutters had as well, and that'll reinforce. But basically, in a very short amount of time, this is ready to go. So I've got my square set up. I'm going to put the 2 clamps on it now and measure, and then I'm going to cut all of the slats, and we'll get the slats and the whole thing glued together before the aperitif today. So there you go, that's the first slat cut. Just get the rest of them done and glue it all together. And then tomorrow I can put them up, and then I can take them down again. But they are only just hung on. You can lift them clean off as I do the cement, and then I can wash them with the pressure washer. Where I wash everything else, I need to wash the whole front of the house. And then I can get on, finish up this plastering. The first layers all now pretty much look good everywhere, there as well. Still missing a bit up there, and the little corner bits, but it looks pretty good. And hopefully then, after a very good clean, we'll be close to ready to paint. Okay, and there they all are. That went very quickly. So same procedure as last time. I'm not going to do more time lapse of exactly the same thing as on yesterday's video, or the day before yesterday's video it is now. So I'm just going to glue it together, hammer it together, put the clamps on, and then head up to the co-op. There we go. And to be honest, that whole process was a lot easier and quicker. That's how quickly you can learn how to do things. So not only was it quicker and easier, but it also looks much better. But it'll be fine. So tomorrow, hinges off, trim the top and pop it in on the left, see how we do on the hinges there. And well, I can get on with finishing up the rest of the front of the house with plastering and what have you. But tomorrow the weather is going to be glorious, although it was, look at that. That view never gets boring, does it? It was very nice today, but tomorrow we might do a cheat day and go to the beach or something. We'll see. Okay, well, that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. Making the beer was something new, and it's going very well. So I'm very happy with that. It'll hopefully be drinkable, well, in the next video or the video after that. That will be exciting. I shall let you know. For now, We have a shutter. The second shutter will go up tomorrow. And yeah, so as always, having a fabulous time here in Italy. I highly recommend it. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for all your comments. So what did I pick up from the comments? No, the shower isn't yet finished in the bedroom. That's a rainy day project when I'm here on my own. I'll just do that. It shouldn't take too long, but there is a lot of drying time and in between time. And I don't want baby, who sleeps with us in that bedroom, to be sleeping in there while I'm painting and things like that, because although it's only really acrylic paint, I still don't really want him breathing that stuff in. So so that will be coming pretty soon. What other comments were there? I mean, not much else has gone on. There was a very clever suggestion that I go once over pretty much everything I've done so far to show how it's holding up and how it's gotten on. And I think I'll do that perhaps this time before I go back, otherwise next time when I'm on my own. So thank you very much, one and all. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for watching. Thank you for taking your time. Take care. I hope you're all well. It's difficult times, but it looks like there might be a light at the end of the tunnel. Who knows? I don't want to get my hopes up as I did last summer and the summer before. But, well, I'm a pretty optimistic guy as things go. So, take care. Bye-bye for now.